Welcome to Veterans United, a program sponsored by the Fire Watch, Northeast Florida's fight to end veteran suicide. I'm Nick Howland, Navy veteran, your host, and Executive Director of the Fire Watch. In this program, you'll meet 2 or 3 veterans who will share their challenges and experiences since leaving active duty. You'll also meet a couple civilians who are doing great things for veterans here in Northeast Florida. In the meantime, you can help. There's a role for everybody. Visit thefirewatch.org and register as a watchstander. Learn to identify the risk signs of veterans in crisis. Learn to get veterans the help they need. Together, we can end veteran suicide here in Northeast Florida. Enjoy the program. Welcome to another episode of 5 Minute Salute. I'm Nick Howland, your host. This program is sponsored by the Fire Watch, and it's focused on understanding the great things that veterans are doing in our community in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. With me today is a special guest, an Army veteran, a Gold Star spouse, and the president of Canine Line, Maggie Beckerman. Maggie, thanks for being with us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, let's unpack that just like I introduced you. So you're an Army veteran, 7 years. Tell me a little bit about your service.
Yeah, so I was in supply and I deployed a few times. That is a very tasking job if you know logistics.
For sure.
You don't just sit behind a desk.
Yeah.
So
right.
there was a lot of boots on the ground and a lot it movement over time.
Afghanistan and Iraq?
Yes. Yeah, we went to Iraq and Afghanistan and it was quite an experience.
I can imagine. And I mentioned that you were a Gold Star spouse in the introduction. So yeah. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my whole world ended on December 31st, 2010. I was in Afghanistan and I got pulled from my post by my commander, and I ended up being informed that my husband was killed.
Yeah.
And being his next of kin, I had to go view his body. And so I had the honor of bringing him home, but when I got home, I like to say the phrase that he went to heaven and I came home to hell. It was very rough.
Yeah.
It was very rough. And I was just traumatized after that.
I can imagine. And he was in your unit? Right?
We were in the same division.
Same division.
We were in different units.
Yeah.
Yes, so.
Well, condolences for your loss. And words can't express how thankful as a veteran I am for your sacrifice and for your service, and your country is for your service and your sacrifice. So thank you for that. How did that make getting out of the service a challenge for you? Or what challenges did you face when you got out of the Army?
Which ones do I talk about?
Yeah.
So there was many things that I faced. I noticed that when I would hang out with my friends and family, when everyone would go home and they would go to sleep, that's when my demons would come visit me.
Right.
And so there was a lot of struggles with sleeping, with connecting with people, family issues, and even just understanding who I am. Because getting out, I had to get out because I wasn't able to move forward. And that was just, it was just a difficult transition to have people understand and to respect the fact that, no, I'm not comfortable in this situation.
Right.
And so a lot of things like that would arise.
Was your main support structure after the loss of your husband your fellow Army battle buddies and division mates? And
I'm really glad you asked that. So
yeah.
Yes, I did have a few people that my battle buddies, there's a handful of them that still have been there since day one.
Right.
And I've noticed that I also have been involved in other veteran organizations. And when you're a veteran, you get it. You raise that right hand, and there's those warrior ethos and that oath that you took.
Absolutely.
And so many veterans, they get it.
Right.
But I ended up finding an amazing organization that helped me transition.
And that's Canine Line?
It is.
Tell me about that, because you were a warrior who found Canine Line. So, you wouldn't say client, you wouldn't say customer, you're a warrior.
Right.
You were paired with a service dog. Your service dog's here. And somehow you ended up becoming president of Canine Line, which means that Canine Line did a remarkable thing for you in your life. and now you're giving back by doing that for other warriors. So tell me about how you found Canine Line, and then how you ended up becoming the president of Canine Line.
Okay, so those veteran organizations that I mentioned, I'm a Legion Rider, an American Legion Rider, and I was at a meeting. It was really early in the morning. I was taking information down, and their name crossed our table.
Okay.
So as soon as I heard who they were, I looked further into them, and I gave them a call.
Okay.
And I ended up training with them within a few weeks, and that was in 2017. I ended up graduating in 2020.
Yep.
And the CEO, she gave me the opportunity to not just move on as a warrior, but to continue serving with them, because this is such an amazing organization.
Yep.
And so I took that opportunity, and here I am, just trying to spread the word to every veteran. And our warriors are also Gold Star family members and military contractors, and just trying to give them that 9 line that I was given.
Yeah.
And it's a quality of life that I never expected to be given back.
What an amazing story and a fantastic organization. So tell me how your service dog's name is Gunter.
Yes.
Tell me how Gunter has helped you. Is Gunter your best friend?
Gunter is my partner in crime.
Yes.
He is. He goes everywhere with me. He goes to the gym with me. He goes to restaurants with me. He goes grocery store shopping with me. When I go get a pedicure, he comes with me. He's constantly at my side.
Yep.
And it's that understanding that if I get overwhelmed or if I'm timid to do something, I have that lead in my left hand, and he's an extension of me.
Got it.
So it's just amazing.
Oh, that's amazing. So tell me again, then, the demographics serviced by Canine Line, because I know there are some organizations that are just post 9/11.
Right.
There's some that focus on perhaps Vietnam era, and I think you said that you're all eras. That Gold Star is a focus, and also military contractors or private security forces. So yeah.
So our main focus is us being a nonprofit organization. We service to veterans. We also service to the military contractors and the Gold Star family members, and we provide them certified service canines and to help them with the issues that they struggle with.
Yep. How can people find out more about Canine Line?
They can go to www.canineline.org. We also have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram account. I was just informed now we have a TikTok. Okay. I'm not the media guru. So I just try to get us the resources, and I try to network with people. So they can go to any of those websites, or they can also they can call myself if they see business cards and what have you.
Well, Maggie, thanks for being on the show. You're obviously a profile in service. You know, you gave a lot of your life to your country. And afterwards, when you felt disconnected, you're giving a lot of your life back to your country and to those who've served. You are a profile in service, and thank you so much for that service, Maggie.
Thank you for their words. Very kind.
Appreciate it.
Very kind.
Thanks again for joining us on another episode of 5 Minute Salute. I'm Nick Howland, the host and also executive director of the Firewatch, which is Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia's fight to end veteran suicide. There's a role for everybody to play. Visit thefirewatch.org and become a watchstander. Learn the risk signs of veterans in crisis and learn how to get veterans the help they need. Together, we can end veteran suicide.
Hello, I'm John Rutherford from the United States House of Representatives, and I am a watchstander.
Hi, I'm Michelle McManaman from Operation Uniform, and I am a watchstander, and so is everyone in my organization.
I'm Damika Jackson. I'm the president of the Jacksonville Veterans Chamber of Commerce, and I am a watchstander.
Hi, I'm Luke Lewis with Xera Realty.
I am Ant Stroud with the Ant Stroud Group.
I'm Bruce Thompson. I'm the Vice President of the Veterans Chamber of Commerce.
And I am a watchstander.
I am a watchstander. I'm a watchstander.
Each year, over 6,000 U.S. military veterans take their own lives, including one per week in Northeast Florida. The Firewatch is our community's fight to end veteran suicide. Join us. Become a watchstander today at thefirewatch.org. Together, we will end veteran suicide.
From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, time once again for Up Close and Personal here on The Horse's Mouth, another Veterans Edition brought to you by the firewatch.org, a veteran suicide prevention program. I am honored to introduce my guest, Annette, here at the bar. Hi, Annette. How are you?
Hello, good.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How's it going?
It's going great.
You're doing good?
I am.
All right. You're a veteran of the U.S. Army.
Yes.
How many years?
I did 8 years.
8 years. Yes. Wow. Did you do that right out of high school, college? How did you get started?
It was 1 year out of high school I joined. And
okay.
I joined going to Fort Lee, Virginia, is where I did AIT.
Okay.
And then I was stationed in Fort Stewart, Georgia, and Fort Gordon, Georgia.
Okay. And what did you do for the Army?
I was supply, so I did logistics. I was a supply sergeant.
Okay.
And I also did 2 tours. I did a tour in Afghanistan and a tour in Iraq as well.
God bless you. Thank you for your service from the bottom of our hearts. And your husband's Army as well.
Yes.
Just retired recently, you said?
He retired in 2012. He did 22 years.
Oh, wow. God bless him. All in the Army as well?
All in the Army.
And you guys met in the Army?
We met in the Army.
Wow. Well, in Georgia? Well, it had to be, right?
No,
one of the bases? Or?
When I was deployed to Iraq, my best friend was in Iraq as well.
Okay.
And she had my picture up on the wall. And he saw my picture and was like, I want to meet her. So,
okay. That's how it happens.
Happy ending.
Yeah. You said what at first?
I said no at first.
Because she had a track record of not setting you up with the finest. But this time she did.
Yes.
So it worked out.
She picked a winner
great.
this time.
That's great. That's great. Talk about, and even with your husband as well, you know, the transition from that military life to civilian life. Has it been challenging? What would you say to that?
For me, it wasn't really challenging. So as soon as I got out of the military, 1 month later, I was employed as a human resource assistant.
Okay.
And then at the same time, I was also enrolled in school, getting my master's degree in human resources.
Okay.
And I've been in the human resource field since then, so since 2008.
Okay, cool.
And then my husband, he had 2 different jobs. So when he transitioned out, he became a juvenile probation officer.
Okay.
And then now he's working as a ROTC instructor.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, like at a college or high school?
High school, at Paxton High School.
Very cool. One of our earlier guests did the whole ROTC route up in Illinois. That's very cool. All right, let's talk about Harris Financial Coaching, and I'm assuming that's named after you.
Yes,
it's your company.
Yes.
What do you do for your clients?
So for my clients, I help them with budgeting, setting up savings, an emergency fund, if they want to plan for a vacation, a house purchase, or a home purchase. Just help them with the different steps they need to take to get their finances in order. And also credit, if they want to look at their credit review and evaluate their scores and just get a better understanding of their credit scores. I help them with that.
And help them increase it, you know, and that kind of thing. Is it based off of like, is your strategy like percentage-wise, like, hey, groceries should be this amount per month percentage-wise. Your home or mortgage or rent is this. Do you go through that kind of budgeting? Or
I don't really do percentages. No, I think it's just what works best for that individual. Once they look at their budget and see the bills that they have and the savings goals that they have, then we sit down and make a plan together for them. I don't make the plan for the individual; they make the plan for themselves.
Okay, good. You just gotta advise them and help them out.
Yes.
And you gear your services toward veterans.
Yes.
I mean, you'll accept anybody, obviously, but you do try to reach out to veterans and try to help them.
Yes, I try to reach out to veterans. I'm also partnering with Military Saves because it's Military Saves Month. So I am doing some social media campaigns with them. And this month is Take the Pledge to Save. So you can go into the Military Saves website, take the pledge to save for your future, for retirement, for just different savings goals. And they also give tips throughout the year on how you can increase your savings.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So how long have you been doing this consulting or coaching work?
So I started this in January of this year.
Yeah, good.
But I've been helping family and friends in the past, but I just wanted to put a name to this so that I can reach out to more people with, actually starting a company. And it started with me being on Clubhouse, and I was just getting encouraged by other people with me being in the different rooms that they had. And they were like, hey, you should, spread your knowledge to more people. So I was like, I'm going to do it. So I just started the company, and it's been taking off ever since.
That's great. I got another app for you to look at too. It's called Relevant. That'll rival that. But let me ask you, the HR background that had to have helped with what you're doing with your own coaching business, right? You know how to handle people. You've heard a lot of the stories, right? You can help them in those kind of ways, I would have to imagine.
Yes, of course.
Nice transition for you.
Yeah, so I talk to people about retirement when I'm at work. So it's just advising them on the different retirement options that they have.
Okay.
About taxes. So, you know, people have the tax forms they need to fill out when they go to a new employment. So just advising them to, you know, look at this when you select your withholdings on your W-4. So things like that. And also just talking to people as well. I talk to people on a daily basis. So it's just something that I've been doing even in the military, you know, just throughout my career in the supply chain. So just talking to people, just connecting with them on a personal level to help them, you know.
Well, you're very personable. I mean, you're very nice and kind, so that should be easy to meet people, right? I mean, and you come from a genuine, you know, point of view, right? You want to help people.
Yes, I just
at the end of the day.
And this, you know, my company is to provide a service to others. So I just want my motto is from service to our nation to service to you.
All right, I like it. I like it. All right, so what do you do for fun? What do you guys do for fun?
So for fun, I am into fitness.
Oh, cool.
I like to run 5Ks. You know, COVID has impacted that a little bit, so I'm not as out much as I would like to be.
Sure.
And also volunteering. I love to volunteer. A lot of my efforts go towards volunteering. I volunteer with the United Way, doing income tax assistance on the weekends.
Okay. Cool.
So I do that on Saturdays with them and traveling. So me and my husband have set up our finances so we're able to travel and pay cash for vacations.
All right, cool.
So that's a big thing for us, just to not try to get back in debt because we became debt free back in October.
All right, congrats.
So we are traveling. That's our.
So you're the business model for your coaching, right? I mean, you are. Look what we did. This is how we did it. This is how you can do it as well.
Correct. Absolutely.
Right? That's fantastic. All right. How can people find you, Annette?
So they can reach out to me at my website. It's www.harriswealthcoach.com.
Okay. Great. How about a phone number? Any number you want to throw out there?
So I do. It's 904-323-8399.
Okay, great. Well, good luck with that. That's cool. I love entrepreneurs, and it's tough. It's tough, but looks like you're off to the right path.
Thank you.
And thank you for your service. Really appreciate it. And your husband. Tell him.
I will.
As well. Okay. That'll do it for us this time around on Up Close and Personal. Always great to have the firewatch.org a part of this show. Make sure you check them out. They are a veteran suicide prevention program. So until next time, stay safe and be cool. And we'll see you right here on The Horse's Mouth. Cheers.
Hello, I'm John Rutherford from the United States House of Representatives, and I am a watchstander.
Hi, I'm Michelle McManaman from Operation Uniform, and I am a watchstander, and so is everyone in my organization.
I'm Damika Jackson. I'm the president of the Jacksonville Veterans Chamber of Commerce, and I am a watchstander.
Hi, I'm Luke Lewis with Xera Realty.
I am Ant Stroud with the Ant Stroud Group.
I'm Bruce Thompson. I'm the Vice President of the Veterans Chamber of Commerce.
And I am a watchstander.
I am a watchstander. I'm a watchstander.
Each year, over 6,000 U.S. military veterans take their own lives, including one per week in Northeast Florida. The Fire Watch is our community's fight to end veteran suicide. Join us. Become a watchstander today at thefirewatch.org. Together, we will end veteran suicide.
Hey family, welcome back to Buzzworthy Veterans. I'm your host, Ant Stroud. Today I have the honor of sitting next to the dynamic Lisa Evers, RN with Holistic Holdings. Lisa, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Ant.
I just want you to know before we begin, I'm loving the energy. I'm loving the aura. This is awesome. I'm super excited to talk to you today.
It's a Corbin thing. It
is. It really is. I feel like, you get me, I get you.
Absolutely.
All right. Tell us about your military service.
Okay. Coast Guard. And I know you're Navy, but we're still, sailors.
Job.
We're sailors. And so I enlisted into the Coast Guard right out of high school instead of attending Notre Dame as a chemical engineer.
Fancy.
I went into the Coast Guard, and I decided to do that for a while. And so that little while turned into 32 years of active duty / reserve time. And it's been like the most fabulous thing.
Oh my God, your resilience must be the stronghold of everything
That's
to have lasted 32 years.
Yes,
oh my gosh.
and you know what it's like as a reservist because, you start, stop. And it does teach resilience. And I think that's might be a big piece of why I'm doing what I'm doing now, because we do need to support and build and teach resilience.
Gotcha. So you being an RN, you being a corpsman, did that flow seamlessly together? Like, what that was your end game when coming into the Coast Guard, or how did that transpire you getting to be an RN?
Right. So the Coast Guard doesn't have our own nurses. So our military, our medical team are basically our corpsmen. And so when I went into the Coast Guard, I had guaranteed schooling, and I went right into train as a corpsman. And at that time, we trained at the Coast Guard Academy in New London, Connecticut. It has since moved, but it was fun to be on site with the cadets. So when I went from active to reserve status after the birth of my daughter in 1982, I went into nursing school because it was a beautiful fit. My mom was a nurse, and it was just, it has somehow come naturally as far as trying to not necessarily take over and take over the physical responsibility of people, but I like teaching people about their bodies and how they can maximize wherever they are in life.
That's awesome, because sometimes we always can't get to nurses, sometimes we always can't get to the medical professionals, but if you teach us the tools to at least buy time till we can get there, that might be, that may impact somebody's life. Well,
and I think we've forgotten about that because with our current mindset, with everything being disease-focused and pathogenesis. We're going to diagnose a problem, and then we're going to give you medicine, and we're going to fix it. What if we thought of it somewhat differently, that our body was basically just trying to communicate to us that something's out of balance, and that maybe if we changed our diet, our exercise, our mindset, so many of those things, we could indeed correct and heal some of those chronic conditions that we struggle with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Tell us about Holistic Holdings.
Okay. So Holistic Holdings is my vision for how we put the body back together. We pull the body, mind, and spirit back together. And this all came about as a result of working with patients who had struggled with pain. And when I learned that the FDA had approved OxyContin for children in August of 2015, I started really examining pain and why we've been programmed to try to just stuff it down. Long story short, I decided that maybe looking at what we want, meaning comfort, instead of fighting against the pain, would be a better idea. So building a bit on my Coast Guard background, we've been guardians, right? And we have lighthouses, and all of that sort of fits together nicely. So I look at this more, instead of trying to artificially make people feel better by stuffing down the message that your body's trying to share, we basically point people towards what they'd like. And so instead of reliving your worst pain ever, when we ask that question as corpsmen, because we always do it, I ask, well, how do you feel now, honestly, on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the best you've ever felt? And let people sit with that and just sort of take yourself back to that happy time, that pleasant time, and all those great neurochemicals flow also. And you remarkably start feeling just a bit better, and you can remember those good times in life again, because so many chronic pain sufferers especially forget what it's like to have really been free of pain, or to remember when they weren't struggling with pain. So I just invite people to flip the scale, offer a hopeful vision, and hopefully together we can move forward and help people help themselves.
It almost sounds like a reverse psychology thing, but in a sense, it's why does it have to be the reverse psychology? Like, why can't we focus on that psychology in a sense of the positive instead of always the negative? Because again, we do go see our doctors and our providers when something's wrong. Typically, we don't really go unless something's wrong. So when something is wrong,
how do we know something's wrong?
Because our body's telling us that something's wrong. So let's focus on, instead of, like you said, stuffing it down with drugs, medications, all that stuff, let's unleash it, but unleash it through the positive memories instead of so much of the negative. Is that kind of, I'm on the right track here?
You got it. And we haven't even really talked about it, but that's the key. So we want to use our body, not use our body, but see our body as our guardian, and it's trying to let us know when we're out of balance. And so if you're not feeling great, because I mean, everybody can't be a 10 all the time. That's unrealistic. The next question is, do you think it's something related to your body, your mind, or your spirit that's trying to get your attention? Because so many times we have traumas, whether lots of, and a lot of our traumas are somehow, or they're actually traumas that we relive in our minds, whether they were physical traumas or worries or concerns that we have. Absolutely. And it just we keep replaying those negative vibes. And so by asking that simple question, body, mind, or spirit, your subconscious can start working and bringing those things to the surface. So yes, I'd like to say it's the proper psychology, and what we've been doing all along has been maybe not the right thing.
Hey, I'm all in. Right?
Good,
So
excellent.
if some of our family members out there were all in and they wanted to meet with you, consult with you, seek treatment with you, how would they go about getting hold of you?
The best thing is to reach out to my website, which is Nurses Empowering Health, because I still think that nurses really do have a lot of wisdom. That's like the best way. In addition to that, I'm going to leave some cards here, and we'll have some links on the site as well. Like all great things that are newly percolating, you'll see a gradual improvement and sophistication of my website. But in the meantime, if you do hop on my website, there is a way that you can click on the calendar and have a 30-minute visit free of charge, just to sort of kick this around and see if something might fit. To at least get it out to the community and help some people who could use a way to cope with hope. Once again.
I appreciate what you're doing to the community, for those around you and those who are in pain, and we want to seek them to realize the positives in their lives and focus on that. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being part of the family.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate putting this out for everyone and networking, and look forward to great things happening for all of us.
Sounds good. All right, family, that's going to do it for this episode of Buzzworthy Veterans. I'm your host, Ant Stroud. And if you'd like to learn more about Holistic Holdings, please visit iwannabuzz.com. And remember, always vets, always family. I'll see you next time.
Thanks again for joining us on another episode of Veterans United. The Firewatch is Northeast Florida's fight to end veteran suicide. There's a role for everybody. Join us as a watchstander. Visit thefirewatch.org and learn to identify the risk signs of veterans in crisis, how to ask veterans if they need help, and how to get veterans the help they need. Together, we will end veteran suicide. The Firewatch, Northeast Florida's fight to end veteran suicide. Today is military... Okay, it was going so well.